What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talkin Sports with Jake. Hope we're all doing well. Haven't done the show in a few days, so there's a lot to talk about, so let's jump right in. Start with the random sports dump. So the Miami Marlins manager search is down to two people. Is down to the Cleveland Guardians bench coach Craig Albernaz, as well as Will Venable, who played in the league for a while, and he's currently the assistant manager for the Texas Rangers. Albernaz, before being in Cleveland, he was somewhere else. I think he was in San Francisco, I believe, as a bullpen coach, and then this year was the bench coach in Cleveland under Stephen Vogt. And Will Venable, he played in the league for a while, retired, I think like 2016, 2017, and he's bounced around as an assistant coach in various roles. He originally started, I think, as like the special assistant to the GM when Theo Epstein was there with the Cubs. He was the first base coach there for a couple of years. Then he was third base coach there for a year. And he's been the assistant manager for Texas the last 2 years. So, look, he worked under Bruce Bochy the last 2 years. He's a great manager. To me, Venable's the right choice. To me, he's been a guy a lot of guys have looked at as a potential future manager. Played in the league for a while, but wasn't a star, which also probably helps him, because a lot of them great players don't become great coaches really in any sport. But the mediocre to bad players are the ones that usually work out as coaches and managers in professional sports. And so he's bounced around, different assistant coach roles, and obviously he worked under Bruce Bochy the last 2 years. So to me, that's who I would hire if I was Miami. But we will see what happens. I would have probably kept Skip Schumacher, but that's another story. And the New York Rangers extend Alexis Lafreniere. Did that last week. 7-year extension worth $7.45 million a year. I think that's a really good deal for the New York Rangers. Lafreniere, number one pick a few years ago. First couple of years was a little bit pedestrian. Not the generational talent we thought he was going to be, or I don't know about generational, but extremely very good talent we thought he was going to be. But great year last year. Had 60 points. Was phenomenal in the postseason. Is playing very well again this year. And he just got a 7-year extension. I think it's a number. Right now, he's probably like a $6 million a year player, but I think within a year or two, he will be definitely a $7.5 million a year player. So I think it's a very good deal from the New York Rangers to lock up a potential, what I think is a young star in this league for the next 7 years. All right, so let's talk the World Series, which is, of course, well underway. Game 1 was on Friday. Dodgers won 6-3. Crazy game, back and forth. Yankees go up 3-2 late in that game, but then Freddie Freeman with a walk-off grand slam in the bottom of the 10th inning. That was 2-2 goal in the 10th. Yankees get one in the top half, bottom half. That was a very poor decision by Aaron Boone. So you had a runner on, you had 2 on and 1 out. He goes to Nestor Cortez, who hasn't pitched in 5 weeks. First guy he was facing was Shohei Ohtani, the best player in baseball. Gets him to fly out, but then walks Mookie Betts intentionally to get to Freddie Freeman, who kills lefties, always has throughout his career. By the way, this was with the bases loaded. Versus facing left-handed with the bases loaded, Freddie Freeman was a .420 career hitter. And of course, first pitch, lays one right over the middle, and Freddie Freeman hits it a ton. Grand slam. Dodgers won that one 6-3. Game 2 was on Saturday. Dodgers took that one 4-2. Really good outing from Yoshino Yamamoto. Gave him 5 really good innings. Rodon did not look good. Gives up 4 runs and 3 in the third. Did not pitch very well. Dodgers pick up the win in that one. And Game 3 was last night. Dodgers win that one 4-2 as well at Yankee Stadium. Clark Schmidt gave up 3 runs on 4 walks in just 2 in the third. He did not look good. Walker Buehler pitched very well. 5 innings they get out of him. 5 scores. Only runs for the Yankees were Alex Verdugo, 2-run homer with 1 out in the bottom of the 9th inning off of Michael Kopech. Dodgers win 4-2. Yankees offense has looked just absolutely paltry in this series. The last 2 games have not gotten good starting pitching. And also Aaron Judge. Holy moly, that guy has been horrible. He is hitting 140 in the postseason. 140. He is 6 for 43 with 20 strikeouts in the playoffs. To put that in perspective, Garrett Cole, who's a pitcher, has 16 strikeouts in 3 starts this postseason. He's a pitcher. I think the pitcher with the most strikeouts this postseason, I forgot who it is. I think they're at like 25 or something. So Judge would be like third most strikeouts of any pitcher in the playoffs, and he's a freaking hitter. He looks lost, and he's been horrible his whole career in the playoffs. I don't know what it is. We gotta have a serious conversation if he does not completely wake up. Starting tonight for Game 4. I don't think he will. The Yankees look just done. They are definitely pressing. He's definitely pressing. He looks lost. I still have one so and Giancarlo Stanton. No one's really given him a whole lot of offense in this series or in this postseason, to be honest. You look at their roads to the playoff. The Dodgers, that definitely helped the Dodgers. The Dodgers had a really tough series against San Diego. They went 5 games. You had a tough series against a red-hot Mets team. They went 6 games. And then the Yankees, they also got a bye. They had a series against the Kansas City Royals. You had a gritty Kansas City Royals team that, a series that they won, but wasn't certainly not easy. Well, it wasn't, it was easy, not hard, but not easy. It was kind of like in the middle. Then you got Cleveland, who just, they own in the postseason and just, didn't have much trouble getting by them. Kansas City, that's a great team, but, they're also very inexperienced compared to the Yankees. Dodgers just had an easier road. They're way better offensively. Yankees have a deeper starting rotation. Both teams have really deep bullpens that are both very efficient. But the Dodgers is slightly better. Probably even in, Yankees can probably give them a little more length because you have Stroman and Cortez there. Dodgers don't quite have that. But, also Dave Roberts has done a better job there on Boone pushing the right buttons. Dave Roberts, he's lifted his stars a little bit earlier than he probably should have. I would have, honestly, I was surprised he lifted Yamamoto and Buehler when he did, but it's worked out for him, so that's really all that matters. 3-0 Game 4 is tonight. Dodgers looking to sweep the Yankees and win their second World Series in the 2020s. First real ring for me, 2020 season. We all know how that season, what the issues were with that season. And before that, what was the last one? 1989 or something, so this is obviously a big chance for the Dodgers to win the World Series. Their first, to me, real ring in a very long time. All right, so let's talk some college football games from the action in Week 9. We had a Thursday night game. Pittsburgh gets past Syracuse without much of a problem. They came in ranked 19th, 41-13, the final. Now, when Kyle McCord looked really bad, had 5 interceptions in that one, threw the ball 64 times, had 5 interceptions, including 3 pick-6 in the first half alone. Pitt easily wins that one. Friday night, it was number 17 Boise State. They get past UNLV 29-24. Ashton, another big game, ran for 120 yards and a touchdown. Boise gets past UNLV as they continue to play some good football. Into the Saturday action, number 1 Oregon beats Illinois 38-9. Dylan Gabriel throws for 291 and 3 touchdowns. They looked really good. Number 3 Penn State beats Wisconsin 28-13. Penn State, top 3 team in the country. Did not think that was going to be the case, but they have looked really good this season. That's a really good team. They get past Wisconsin. Number 4 Ohio State sneaks away with winning against Nebraska 21-17. We'll have for 221 and 3 touchdowns. Very close game. And now Ohio State escapes with a win over Nebraska. You had number 5 Texas gets past Vanderbilt 27-24. Ewers looked a little better, 27-37 for 288 yards, 3 touchdowns. But Texas, obviously you get pounded by Georgia, and now you lose to Vanderbilt. Obviously you had the quarterback change. Well, not right change. Quinn Ewers got hurt, so you started Arthur Manning, who played well. Then Quinn Ewers comes back, so obviously he gets reinserted into the starting lineup. You had a bye. So I'm not sure if it's helped them. You lose to Georgia. Georgia's very good, but Texas was still favored to win that game, and you lose, and you got pretty much dominated. And you almost lost to Vanderbilt, who did come in at the end of the rankings. They're much better than they usually are, at least. But you almost lost to them. Wow. Imagine if Vanderbilt beat Texas and Alabama in one season. You went, 60 years without beating a ranked team. Now you beat 2 top 5 teams in one season. That would be absolutely insane. Number 6 Miami beats Florida State 36-14. Cam Ward didn't do a whole lot. That's 208 yards, but didn't do a whole lot. Florida State is extremely bad. Miami easily wins that one. Number 14 Texas A&M for an upset over number 8 LSU. 38-23. That A&M team is very good. Garrett Nussbaum 4 of 5, 2 scores, 3 picks. mixed bag for him. He, also only 25 of 50 accuracy, so tough loss for LSU. It's a big win for Texas A&M. Number 11 BYU beat UCF 37-24. That's a big win for BYU, who's looked really good. I'm going to invite Patcast onto the mic. Have not talked to him in a while. Patcast, how you been, dude?
Where's my rant?
My Jets rant is coming. I'm doing college football. It is on its way.
How have you been, bud?
I've been all right, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right. I had some time on my hands, so I thought I'd pop in and show you some support.
Thank you. I appreciate. I haven't talked to you in a while, obviously. I have my show. You do your thing, but yeah, I'm talking some college football, and after this, I'm definitely going to talk some NFL, and that's where my Jets rant that I mentioned to you is going to happen.
I can't wait. I'll just sit back and enjoy the show, and then I'll pop in. But I'm still here.
Just sounds good, Patcast. That's Patcast. Notre Dame picks up a win. Number 12 Notre Dame beat Navy 51-14. Navy came in ranked 24th. By the way, Army and Navy they're both ranked for the first time since World War II. So I was really cool to see this past week. Notre Dame, they've played a lot better since that tough loss to NIU. Rival line on 13-21, 170 yards, 2 scores. So do what we need to do. Notre Dame picked up the win. Number 13 Indiana beats Washington 31-17. Big win for Indiana. They're 8-0. Good for them. Number 15 Alabama beats Missouri, who came in ranked 21st, 34-0. That was just a drubbing. Missouri can get anything going offensively. A lot of bad mistakes on offense for them. Number 16 Kansas State beats Kansas 29-27 as they sneak away with a win. Kansas puts up a fight, but K-State escapes in that one. Number 18 Ole Miss beats Oklahoma 26-14. Ole Miss gets past the Sooners, who have not been very good this year. That move to the SEC has not helped them at all. And number 20 for SMU gets past Duke 28-27 in overtime in a very close game there. SMU escapes with a win. All right, let's talk some AP rankings. Then we'll get to the NFL recap and my Jets recap that I promised Patcast and all of you, of course, that's going to be taking place. Let's just recap what the top 25 looks like going into week 10 of college football. Oregon, Georgia, Penn State, Ohio State, still the top 4. They all won this week or on bye, so Georgia's on bye. So they remain in the top 4. Miami sneaks up to number 5. Texas Tech's number 6 after they almost lost to Vanderbilt. 7th is Tennessee. They remain at 7. Notre Dame is not right now number 8. They move up in the rankings. BYU up to number 9. Texas A&M is now in the top 10, so good for them. Clemson slips down to 11th. They're on a bye. Iowa State is also at 11th. They're like tied for 11th, 12th. 13th remains Indiana. Alabama is 14th, so they're back in the. So they're top 14. Doesn't really matter too much. You got to be in the top 12 to make the college football playoff. Boise State is number 15. Obviously, they're led by Ashton Genty. Number 16 is LSU. They plummet in the rankings down to 16th. 17th is Kansas State. 18th is Pitt. 19th is Ole Miss. 20th is SMU. 21st is Army. Army's 21st in the country now. Good for them. 22nd is Washington State. 23rd is Colorado. Both teams are new in the rankings. 24th is Illinois. They dropped to 24th. And Missouri, after getting blown up by Alabama, drops to 25th in the rankings. All right. NFL recap. We are going to recap Week 8 in the NFL season. So, get your popcorn ready because my rant is coming. Start with Thursday Night Football. Rams over the Vikings, 30-20. That's a big win for the Rams. Gets them to 3-4 in the season. Puka Nacua is healthy. Cooper Kupp is healthy. That's big. They have that team. Their defense isn't great, but that offense is as electric as it can get. A lot of weapons over there. Maybe Stafford getting older, but still a pretty good quarterback. Big win over the Vikings. Vikings have now lost 2 in a row. Obviously, also tough one to Detroit and lose to the Rams. Still 5-2, but big win for the Los Angeles Rams. Browns beat the Ravens 29-24. I told you, Jameis Winston should be a starting quarterback. He should have been since at least week 2 to me. And he balled out. We put 330 yards and two touchdowns. A big game-winning touchdown pass at the end to Cedric Tillman in the fourth quarter. And a big win for the Browns. That gets them to 2-6. Well, big win. I don't see how they're going to do anything this year. They're still 2-6, but big win for them. That's a tough loss for the Ravens. 5-3. They may need a change of leadership there. I'm not gonna lie. I love John Harbaugh. He's done a phenomenal job there. This is his 17th season there. But they only have a couple of playoff wins, maybe 3 playoff wins since they won the Super Bowl in 2012. I don't know. You blew that game against the Raiders earlier in the year. You almost blew the game to Dallas. Now you lose to just a Cleveland team that's been through so much, just really bad, missing guys. That's a bad loss to the Baltimore Ravens. The Lions absolutely pounced on the Titans, 52-14, dropped 52 points without James Williams, who was of course suspended. The Detroit Lions might be the best team in football. Man, this is without James Williams, your second best receiver, who's really good, and without one of the best pass rushers in all of football, Aiden Hutchinson, who of course is out for the season. That is just it's incredible what they're doing. And the Titans got a good defense too, as bad as they are. It's because their offense is just embarrassing. The defense has actually played well. They came in, I think, ranked the number one defense in the league. I don't know what measure that was by, but someone mentioned that. So Lions dropped 52 on them. I didn't think it's going to be that close. A top team in the league playing one of the worst teams in the league. It's like a top 3 team playing a bottom 3 team. I knew this game would probably be a blowout. But my God, that was just a drubbing. They did everything. Goff played well. They ran the ball really efficiently. They were really good defensively. They got pressure on the quarterback. Great special teams. Khalif Raymond had a long punt return touchdown. He had 190 punt return yards in that game. That was almost an NFL record. He had a return touchdown. Any Quillen, I think he's the first guy ever to have a punt return touchdown of that long and a receiving touchdown in the same game. He had a big game. Obviously, you saw the Dan Campbell speech after the game. That guy's awesome. I would love to play for that guy. He seems like just the best guy to play for. He's a great coach as well. Lions, 52-14, easily win. Texans over the Colts, 23-20. Holy moly, Anthony Richardson is just dreadful. He has completed 44% of his passes this year. 44. That's an NFL record for, that's the worst in NFL history, minimum, I think, 125 attempts. That is just absolutely freaking horrible. Wow. That is abysmal. See, he tapped out of the game. What are you doing? You're a starting quarterback in the NFL. You got to be a leader. You can't tap out of the game and go out on the next drive and be like, all right, guys, I need a 10-play drive from you. You cannot do that. What are you doing? Also, why is Joe Flacco not starting? He was playing well. It was clear that Richardson was not the guy. What's up? What's up, Pat? Got something?
I agree with you. That was incredibly stupid. I don't know what he was thinking.
Yeah, I don't understand. You're supposed to be a starting quarterback in this league. And also, I said it a couple weeks ago. Anthony Richardson should sit for quite a few weeks under Joe Flacco, if not the entire season. He is not ready. He was as raw as it came coming out of college for a guy that was drafted as high as he was. He needed to sit. He started week 1. I don't know why. I get Gardner Minshew is, much better suited as a fill-in guy, as a number 2 guy. Obviously, he's not a starting quarterback in this league. Look what's going on in Vegas with him as a starter. Obviously, they're going back and forth between him and Aiden O'Connell. But, oh my God. He wasn't ready. You would have been better off just starting Minshew, even if it costs you a few games and you have another horrible season. That's best. It was best for your future. But he ends up getting hurt. He ends up getting hurt. He ends up sitting anyway. And then this year, you throw him back in there, and he just looked horrible. He gets nicked up. You throw Flacco on him. He plays well. You start him for a couple of games while Richardson was still healing. I said, even when Richardson was healthy, start Joe Flacco for at least another 4 or 5 games. Then you can reevaluate. And Flacco was playing pretty well. You were winning games. The Colts, they're 4-4. This team can make the playoffs. The back end of that AFC playoff picture is not very good. Hell, a week or two ago, the Jets still had a chance to make the playoffs. And that team is horrible. You'll hear for them. We'll hear about them in a minute or two here. A couple minutes here. And oh my God, they need to start Joe Flacco. Richardson, he can't throw. He's got a cannon on him, but he's literally the most erratic quarterback I've ever seen, and pretty much anyone's ever seen. Look at the stats. I just said 44%, worst complete percentage ever in NFL history. I don't see how this guy becomes anything in this league. I know he's still young. He's only got what? Does he even have 10 starts under his belt? But he's not ready right now. Start Joe Flacco for the rest of the season. He needs to sit behind a veteran. He needs to do it. And if you start Flacco, you might make the playoffs. And I'm not even kidding. They were close last year with Gardner Minshew. Flacco's playing better than Minshew was last year. If, what's his face, like, whoever the runback was didn't drop that pass against Houston, Colts would have gotten over Houston last year. My God, but Texans pick up a win. They're 6-2. They're obviously a great team. Diggs got hurt. Not going to play this Thursday. They haven't said like he's out for the year or anything like that. It was non-contact, which usually doesn't mean that good, especially when it's a knee, but they're constantly evaluating things, so keep an eye on that. Also, Nico Collins is still on the injured reserve, though it looks like week 10 he will be coming back, so I have to miss Thursday night game. Next game they play, they'll get him back. Packers over Jaguars 30-27. Jordan Love gets nicked up in this game. Malik Willis came in, got the job done though. He's done a good job doing that when Jordan Love has battled injuries throughout this season. And Jaguars are really bad. But it looks like Jordan Love will be okay. It's a strained groin. I guess he'll probably play this week, honestly. I think he'll be fine. I hope he is for my fantasy team's sake. One of my fantasy teams, he's my quarterback, so hoping he's okay. But Packers pick up a win over the Jaguars. That's a very good team, 6-2. With how many Jordan Love missing games, stuff like that, they played very well. So you get past the Jaguars. Cardinals over the Dolphins, 20-27. Obviously, Tua's return. He looked just kind of okay. Much of you saw when he was running and he slid down, the crowd erupted. Yeah, obviously he's made a decision to not wear the guard cap and come back and play. That's his personal decision. I wish him the best. God, good Lord, that team needed him back. But they're also sitting at 2-5, and they lost even with him in the lineup. So I'm not sure. Their season might be done already at this point. And the Patriots beat the New York Jets 25-22. I do not understand how dreadful the New York Jets are. They are just horrible. Joe Namath must have sold his soul to the devil in 1969. He must have. There is no other excuse for it. They are bad in every facet of the game. There is not one thing they do right. Not one. They're poorly coached. Rodgers is washed. They can't run the ball. They can't pass the ball. They can get pressure on the quarterback. They can't defend the pass. They can't defend the run. They can't even kick right. Their special teams flat out sucks. Zerline has been horrible. Got the most missed field goals in the league. They're working out kickers tonight. Thank God. Please get him off his team by their Thursday game against the Houston Texans. They're going to lose by 30 either way. He is just horrible. He's technically cost them 3 games. Obviously not all on him. Other things went on in all those games that they wouldn't even need to attempt a game-winning field goal. But my God, that team is dreadful. They are just dreadful. The New England Patriots, who are just horrible, obviously they've owned you for years. They've obviously been great for years, but right now, they are not a good football team. Drake May gets hurt in the second quarter, suffers a concussion. They are forced to go back to Jacoby Brissett, who's the equivalent to a wet blanket at the starting quarterback position. He hasn't played in a couple of weeks behind a horrible offensive line, not a great running game, not a great passing game. And you lose to the freaking Patriots? And the officials were helping the Jets out. Just got lucky with a couple of calls on their side. And he has still lost. How in the hell do you do that? This team is so sloppy. They are just brutal. How do you have this much talent and you're this bad? Like, that is almost a miracle how bad they are. The team that went 2-14, what was it, 2020 with Adam Gase? This team is probably just as bad as that team. And their roster is 10 times better. That team is not very good. Adam Gase obviously dragged that team down with a competent coach. They may have won like 5 or 6 games. But obviously Adam Gase dragged them to 2-14. And at one point they tried to tank for Trevor Lawrence. That didn't even work. Couldn't even freaking lose right. But my God, you can't even beat the Patriots when they suck. Bill Belichick isn't there anymore. Tom Brady isn't there anymore. They're led by Gerard Mayo, who seems like all Patriot Nation wants fired. I'm not sure if that changes after this weekend. I know he made some comments about his team, and you gotta win. It's a really bad team, but I guess it works so far. Drake, a rookie Drake May, who's obviously still learning, / Jacoby Brissett, who just isn't a starting quarterback in this league. They are just absolutely horrible. Why did you trade for Devontae Adams? You went all in at 2-4. What are you doing? Why would you do that? That's the stupidest thing ever. Going all in at 2-4? What? That's horrible. That's like asking for a raise after you put in your 2 weeks. How stupid can an organization be? Oh my God. Also, Adam's been invisible. Aren't him and Aaron Rodgers like best friends? Throw him the damn ball. Like, I don't understand. Sauce Gardner is struggling. Freaking Hassan Reddick, he called out Belichick. Like, I don't like Bill, but like Bill had every right to criticize Hassan Reddick. The guy is a complete clown. Like, you sit out and then you go out there. You have one pressure. You were a ghost. He has as many complaints about retired Hall of Fame coaches than he does quarterback pressures this year, and is being paid over $14 million. What a clown. At this point, just cut the guy. I don't want to see his face in the state of New Jersey or New York at this point. I don't want to even see his face anymore. I don't want to hear about him. I want to see him. I want nothing to do with that man. He is a bag of garbage, and the New Yorkers are a bag of garbage. They are a horrible organization, and I'm tired of this crap. I don't want to watch this team anymore. They are disgusting. You hear me? They are disgusting, and I'm tired of this bull crap. Fire everybody. Everybody should be gone, including Willie Johnson. That guy is garbage, and I'm tired of Jets fans trying to pretend like he's not the problem. Thinking he's overrated. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I said it last week. And I'm tired of coming into this studio here at Fairfield, Connecticut, Sacred Heart University, and raving about this team. They don't deserve my attention anymore. They absolutely suck. Sell the team, Woody. Fire everybody. This team is absolutely horrible. They are the worst organization in the history of professional sports. They will never prosper. New York Jets fans do not deserve this. Oh my God. They are just horrible. How are you this talented in 2-6? Their season is over. Just lose them all at this point. Oh my God. Anyway, moving on. Atlanta Falcons over the Bucks, 31-26. That was a pretty big game with NFC South Division implications. Obviously, Bucks are banged up, not having their top 2 receivers. Falcons get it done. That Kirk Cousins addition has definitely been helpful for them. Obviously, they're at 5-3. I do think they will in that division. Carolina is obviously out of it. Saints are out of it. It's a 2-team race. Bucks are banged up. Falcons just beat them. Atlanta should win that division, I think. Eagles over the Bengals, 37-17. So Eagles looked a lot better. They played a little bit better the last couple of weeks. Obviously, the record was 5-2 anyway. But they're just kind of sneaking by. Obviously, they have issues. In the secondary, the coaching with Nick Sirianni. The Bengals, man, Joe Burrow has played very well for the most part. But God, they cannot stop anybody. That defense is just horrible. Well, what's up, Patcast?
I mean, I'll tell you this. First of all, that was a great rant.
Thank you very much.
That was great. I hope that, whoever is walking by that room and right now is just gawing at this crazy man screaming at the top of his lungs. Aaron Rodgers, some guy that they have no idea who you're talking about, in Woody Johnson. But I will say this. I don't disagree with a single word you said.
Mm-hmm.
Up until this point, it's so obvious that the Aaron Rodgers era in New York is a failure.
It's a failure. Massive failure.
Absolute failure. And I said this, and I'll ask a quick question. We're never going to know the answer to this because he ended up tearing his ACL.
Right.
Is it possible that this was always the version of Aaron Rodgers you were going to get?
Oof, that's a really good question. I thought last year, I did not think this was the version we were going to get. I thought, okay, is he going to win MVP? Absolutely not. But I watched him obviously this last year in Green Bay as much as I could. Obviously, the Packers obviously had a lot of primetime games, and I didn't think he was elite by any means, but he still was pretty good. And I thought the Jets overall had a better offense. And although Nathaniel Hackett is clearly not a good coach, he won 2 MVPs with the guy. If he gets if it's a guy that he can get along with, I'm sure he'll have a lot for him to change the play of line of scrimmage. I thought he can go out there and be a decent quarterback, with a much better defense than he had in Green Bay. So that's why I was so high on the Jets last year, because I thought we could still get even if he only had 1 or 2 years left, we could get a decent year out of him. going into this year, I didn't think they were going to get a whole lot. I didn't think it would be this bad. The team as a whole, Aaron Rodgers as a whole, the Jets as a whole, I didn't think that was possible. But I think I had him at 6-11 just to start the year. When I did my NFL preview, like my preseason predictions. But I'll say this year, this is probably what about I thought I was going to get. Last year, I didn't think he was. I thought he would be good. I did not think he was going to get injured, obviously.
I mean, he's playing worse than Zach Wilson. I mean,
he's been horrible.
He's been terrible. And you kind of get to a point as a fan where you're seeing the bigger picture. You're accepting the season is ultimately over.
Right.
I'm not pretending like the Patriots went over the Jets monumentally changes our season either.
Right.
Like I understand we're not a good football team either. So it's more like you're taking two sort of pieces of mediocrity. One had to come out, but it doesn't necessarily change how most people feel, other than the fact that you had your expectations for the Jets and you thought moving forward winning this game would put them on the right direction, which is not what happened. But honestly, Jake, I really don't know where you go from here. I mean,
yeah, it's tough.
The contract's going to be up. I find it extremely hard to believe he's going to want to stay, but we're obviously a long way to go from that.
Right.
I mean, what do you do if you're a player at this point? Honestly, do not be surprised if half these guys want out.
Yeah.
Trade deadline's coming up. These guys are going to want to get out of here. They're going to see the writing on the wall, and they're going to say, I want no part of this clown show. Aaron Rodgers is washed. Looks like he's a retired. This is the exact version of what Tampa fans were scared of when Brady got through the door, and they didn't have to worry about. You were never going to get a 40-year-old Tom Brady.
No.
He was the anomaly. And I think Tom set this unrealistic expectation.
That's a good point, yes.
That you can play past your 40s, but Tom Brady's the outliner. Rodgers is washed. He's old. He can't throw anymore the way he used to. Which is, again, that's also an exaggeration because I've still seen him throw footballs that 99% of people in the league can't throw. So yeah. I put that with a caveat. But, yeah, dude, I don't know where you go from here. I mean, the season's over. It feels like you're already looking toward the draft already.
Absolutely.
But again, like, let me ask you this. So, like, where, like, I know it's a broader question that, like, it technically happened in the season. You could end up with a 6-11 record still, like, whatever. Like, you could still theoretically, depending on how the AFC East goes, you could still finish second because the Dolphins suck and the Patriots are not getting any better. What happens now? What do you think? And I'm asking, like, realistically, because you know Cody Johnson's not going anywhere.
No.
You know they're going to keep the interim tag on this guy for the rest of the season. What do you think is going to happen and what should happen?
What should happen, what they should do, honestly, is just sell off all the veterans on expiring contracts, and at that point, just, do your best. If you go 2-14, you lose out, fine. If you win a couple of games and you get to 5-12, 6-11, and you get some momentum towards next year, maybe fine. What they will probably do nothing, and will continue to roll out this clown show. Maybe they steal a game, once or twice here, against a team that goes out there and has a bad game. Every year when they just seem to be like, all right, they're basically tanking. They steal a game against a playoff-ish, maybe like wild card-ish team. I look at the Seahawks at the end of the season. Maybe it's a game that they could be an upset pick. But this team is really bad. It's hard to see any game where they're favored in the rest of the year. They don't play the New England Patriots again the rest of the year. The Dolphins, with Tua healthy, they're not going to be favored to win those games. Could they steal one? Maybe, but I doubt it. I don't see anywhere where they even come close to beating Buffalo Bills. What's up?
Are you guys playing Buffalo again?
Yeah, they've one more with the Bills. I don't see how that game would be even that close.
Yeah, no shot.
So, and I don't have the rest of the schedule in front of me. Like I said, maybe Seattle. That could be a closer game. Maybe you find a way to steal that one, but there's no, they're going to get thrashed by Houston on Thursday night. So there's not a game on the schedule I look at like they legitimately should win the game.
this: if you're just looking at straight the division and you've only been the Patriots once, you're more likely to go 1-7 in the division. At best, maybe 1-6, because I feel like you could at least
1-5, yeah.
One more time. But I think the ceiling is 1-6. The more realistic is that you go 1-7 in the division.
But yeah, I'd be shocked if they win. Yeah, that game against the Patriots. What was it? Week 3. They'll probably their only division win. Yeah. There's a world where they don't want to get another game the rest of the season. Like, is there I don't see how they're favored to win in any game the rest of the year. They can't be.
And it also makes you wonder, like, knowing that you're going to have a large draft pick. It's like ultimately, it's like out of all the problems, it just feels like Aaron Rodgers is the single most glaring issue.
Yeah.
Which then makes you kind of ask yourself whether or not you guys are going to be in a quarterback sweepstakes.
Yeah, they're gonna need to. They should.
Do you want Rodgers back?
No.
Okay. I wouldn't want him back either. I don't blame you.
Right.
No way.
Yeah, I mean, he should retire. He clearly doesn't have a lot left. I mean, he tore his Achilles last year. He's now 40. He's playing through injuries right now. He almost seems scared to get hit. You know, his body is just, he doesn't have anything left. I mean, he's broken his collarbone twice. He broke his collarbone twice throughout his Green Bay years. He tore his Achilles last year. You know, he's just old. And like you said, Tom Brady set that precedent, like, if you bring in a veteran quarterback in his 40s, as long as he's got, a good team, they can still go out there and play well if it's a guy like a Brady or a Rodgers who's, gonna be on the Hall of Fame one day. But, Brady was obviously the outlier. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers was never going to, like you said, do what Tom Brady did in Tampa. And, this has been a colossal failure. But, yeah, I think he'll retire. I don't know how. If he hits the market, I just don't know what team would legitimately take a shot on him, at least as a starting quarterback. I don't even know if they would want him in the building, even as, a mentor. He's just because of the way he is. So he might just have to retire just because I don't know if there's a team that will actually give him another shot.
No, you might very well be right. I just think that I don't know. Like, maybe I'm being too cynical or whatever, but I still think it's kind of sad. Like, here's a guy who,
it's a little sad.
He's gonna be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
He's a multiple time MVP, and he's basically just burning the rest of his career as a guy who is just kind of letting his arm fall off.
I know.
I said this on Sunday. I said Rodgers is probably the last batch of pocket present quarterbacks in this, outside of Kirk Cousins and probably Flacco, as far as pure mobile quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And where you got to have mobility, you got to be able to, when the pocket breaks down, you got to be able to find more ways to make plays one way or another. It just feels like this guy's a relic. And again, it's sad because I don't hate Rodgers as you do. I honestly think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing with anything you're saying about his personality, because I do think he can be a pain in the side. But I'm just talking about the football aspect of it all, I guess. And it sucks because I genuinely think he's washed, and I think that he was kind of just hoping to get what Tom had, what Peyton had at the end. I think he's slowly realizing he's not going to get that. And whether or not he goes out like Matt Ryan or Phillip Rivers, where he just becomes a journeyman and he's just kind of bouncing to desperate teams who feel like they can get that last ounce of juice in them, I think he's better off going off into the sunset.
Yeah, and it is a little sad. I mean, I never really disliked Rodgers. Some of the personality stuff, the stuff. I always thought as he's gotten older, he's gotten really weird. And, I don't, understand where he's coming from. Just the weird stuff he says, the weird words he uses. It's like, right, it's very strange. But again, I was kind of like, all right, you do you want to grow your hair out like that? Okay, fine. I think that's odd, considering his whole career he was never like that, and not all of a sudden at 36 years old you decide, oh yeah, let me have a midlife crisis, or that's really weird, considering the position that he's in, but, he's not harming anybody. He doesn't say anything harmful. All right, he's great. If he's going out there and winning MVPs in Green Bay, all right, if it works, it works. And when they got him, I thought, all right, I thought it was, I was like, you know what, I guess it's worth a shot. I mean, nothing else is working, and obviously it's been a close affair, but yeah, it's definitely disappointing that a guy who a couple of years ago was MVP, was still pretty good in his last year in Green Bay, and is just, whistling away on a really bad franchise.
We got minor breaking news here. According to Tim Bopatis of ESPN, Sixers say Embiid and Paul George are both out tomorrow against Detroit, both reevaluated. I don't know if you've talked about this yet, but like I've gone over it a couple of times in my show. It's the single biggest joke in the NBA. They're doing right.
Freaking Philly. Philly does this every year. They always have all these expectations. They have all these pieces, and it never works. Embiid. I mean, I've said it before. Embiid is very overrated. He's always hurt. Gets hurt every year in the playoffs. He's nicked up and he's not 100%. He's doesn't perform well, and he's a good player, but like I don't see him as even an elite talent by any means. He's a regular season player. Yeah, and the Paul George thing, another very good player, another guy, every time he goes somewhere, it's like, oh, he's a missing piece, and it just never works. So yeah, I love Tyrese Maxey, but other than him, I don't see Philly going much further than they did last year. Maybe they went to go an extra round.
I just remember when they beat the Nets with James Harden. I remember watching NBC Sports Philadelphia. I watched their post game, or there was a clip or something, or it was a reel. It was one of those short reels on YouTube that popped. And I remember they were treating it like they just won this because here's a team that hasn't been past the second round in over 2 decades.
I know.
And it's like you're just watching these people like they're like popping confetti, like they're cheering, they're jumping up and down, and you're just like, y'all are pathetic. Like, I would never be celebrating this hard if the Celtics got past the first round. That should be expectation.
Yeah.
That should be like.
Also, that Brooklyn team wasn't that good. You had the whole saga with Kyrie and Durant and all that. You traded Kyrie,
Yeah, that was the season that James Harden was the only one left.
Yeah, so it's not like it's not like you even beat a good team. Like you swept a bad team that had really no one on the team that could really score. That's why the last 2 games were like 90 something to 80 something.
Wait. I got that wrong. That was the first year Harden was in Philly.
Yeah.
I got that wrong. Everyone was already gone at that point.
Yeah, they had nobody. They got lucky that the rest of the back half of the East was so bad they were able to hang on to like that 6th seed in the playoffs, and then and then Philly swept them.
How are you feeling about your other teams right now?
Mets had a tough ending, but very good season.
I was honest to goodness rooting for you. I thought you were going to go to the World Series.
Yeah, I was hoping. I knew that would be a tough matchup, but they had a very good season. The Knicks, obviously, look, I like going into the season. I like their squad. You don't want to start 1-2, but it's very early. I had a feeling they weren't going to start out phenomenal, just because they have a bunch of new players. But I do like their team this year. We'll see how the season goes, but I like their chances this year. It's a little too early to tell, really, for any team in the NBA. And obviously, you know how I feel about the Jets.
Are your Rangers off to a good start?
They look good. They're in a position where they kind of have to win the Stanley Cup, which is a tough position to be in. I'm not sure if they will, but they look very good. They're 6-1-1. They're playing very well right now, which is good.
I mean, that's good. I know it's too early, but you guys will.
Yeah.
I got you guys as either a top 5 team, potentially winning the Atlantic Division, the conference.
The Metro, yeah.
Yeah. Which shouldn't be too much of a surprise, but yeah, it's weird. It's weird. I've been in New York a couple weeks ago. It's been kind of interesting seeing all like the fans, everyone getting like super excited. I mean, the World Series right now. It's like you love sports, but then there's the part where it's just like you honestly go just wish your team was there.
I know.
A part of it. Like, I don't know. Maybe no one was going to beat the Dodgers anyway, but like I still would have loved to have been in the World Series.
Of course.
I would love to be, competing in football. I mean, I don't even know. My Bruins need to learn some defense because they're giving up way too many goals.
Yeah.
If they lose to the Flyers tonight, they'll be under 500, and they just got to 500 after beating Toronto. It's tough, man. It's tough. And we just beat Milwaukee last night in an epic game. I know you. We got massive breaking news. Holy cow!
What just happened?
Okay, do you want the Colts or do you want? Okay, don't look at your Twitter.
I will not.
Okay, do you want the Colts news? Or do you want the Texans news?
Give me the Colts first.
Richardson's been benched.
Wow. Okay, that is the right move. Joe Flacco is back as a starter. Yeah, that's very good.
According to Adam Schefter, sources from Fowler, the Colts are benching Anthony Richardson and turning to veteran Joe Flacco.
Good.
At a meeting this morning. And the other breaking news is Diggs tore his ACL.
Ooh, that's a tough loss for the Texans.
That's massive.
Yeah, that is a tough loss for them.
So now Collins is on IR. Diggs just tore his ACL.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a tough loss for the Houston Texans. But yeah, all right. So I'm gonna finish up my NFL recap Patcast. Feel free to hang out. And then after the NFL recap, we'll wrap this thing up. But Chargers beat the Saints 26-8. No surprise there. Chargers are now 4-3. Saints are 2-6. Their team's just horrible. Jake Haener still action in that game. That Saints team is really bad. Bills beat the Seahawks 31-10. That Seattle team has struggled a lot since starting out 3 now. They can't stop anybody defensively. Geno Smith's one of those guys. He could win you the game, but he could lose you the game. You got the Commanders beat the Bears 18-15. Crazy finish to that one. Bears score a touchdown late in that game. Commanders had only gotten 4 field, but it was 12. It was like 12-0 or 12-7. And then late in that game, 23 seconds left. Bears score. Swift runs it in. They go for 2. Believe they got it. Yeah, and they went up 15-12, and then a Hail Mary from the Commanders on the last play again gives them an 18-15 win. We got to talk about that Bears coaching staff. Holy hell. First of all, the play before, just leaving Terry McLaurin wide open for whatever it was, 12 or 15 yards to get them to like the 47 to 48 yard line, put them in a Hail Mary range. To leave him just unguarded just was terrible. And then on the Hail Mary, first of all, why do you have a spy on the quarterback? It's a Hail Mary. What are you doing? Everyone knows on a Hail Mary, you either rush 5, you either rush 5 and put a lot of pressure, or you don't rush and just drop everybody back. If Jay Daniels wants to run, let him run. What is he going to do? Run 60 yards for a touchdown? The entire defense is going to get for the entire defense? No, he's going to be mauled by the 35-yard line. So I don't know why you're spying. Also, Tyreek Stevenson, what a bum. You're taunting the crowd as the play's happening, and then you're the one who tips the ball right to Noah Brown, costs your team the game. What an absolute idiot. And that Bears coaching staff, they are just dreadful. Shane Waldron, the coordinator, Matt Eberflus, the coach. He said, like, oh yeah, the 15-yard play didn't matter. You damn right it matters. You don't know what you're talking about. They need to get a new coaching staff, the Bears. Holy hell. I'm not high on Caleb Williams at all, but that staff is just Horrible. And the Broncos beat the Panthers 28-14. It's weird that Denver's 5-3 because they're not a very good team. But Bo Nix has played a lot better than expected. He's played very well the last few weeks. Carolina's 1-7. Bryce Young played. Wasn't great again. They're 1-7. They're horrible. Chiefs over the Raiders 27-20. Of course, DeAndre Hopkins made his debut for the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs 7-0. Best record in the league. Raiders are now 2-6. They are just horrible. The 49ers beat the Cowboys 30-24. Dallas just isn't that good. Dak is not that good. If 49ers pick up a win, Dallas made a late comeback attempt. Fell short. And Monday Night Football, Steelers over the Giants 26-18. Another strong performance from Russell Wilson. He's looked good in the 2 games that he's played. You know, first one was against the Jets, but the Giants, I mean, they're very good defensively. Everything else is just dreadful. Giants are now 2-6. How Daniel Jones has lasted 6 years as a starter needs to be studied by science. I don't understand anymore. Clearly, he's still in there because of his contract. Because my God, he would have been benched probably a month ago. He is just horrible. See that the last interception he threw? He had 2 guys wide open over the middle for a first down. He overthrew them by like 10 yards for a pick. To right to 2 Steelers players. Yikes. Just yikes. That one play call they had in the red zone. Lord, they are just absolutely screwed. But that's all I got for you guys today. Patcast, thank you for hopping on. You're welcome anytime. Until next time, so long. Have a great day.